outside the realm of the report.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
And
Yes,
Yes.
just
Very
10 minutes, not more than that. In fact, my task is made simpler by the intervention of members of the Standing Committee on Human Rights. Honorable Speaker, the committee is a standing committee for human rights. And as such, we were looking at the whole issue from the angle of human rights. And that is not an easy task. We decided to reduce the 90 days to 45 days because we thought that the state of emergency is part and parcel of the whole plan of action that the government wishes to take. But we have come to discover that the state is giving us the reason that they need these 90 days to be able to prepare to tackle the issue. And that is not convincing to us. We thought that there will be a holistic plan, which is already done, and the government has put the state of emergency as part of that plan. And part of that state of emergency will come up with these regulations and how to implement these regulations. Honorable Speaker, it is one thing to put into law or to make law, but it's another thing to implement the law. Since we are not so 100% as to what the plan is, as to what this whole thing entails, what is going to be the fate of the vulnerable people, nothing is completely clear. We think that it is necessary to put in a limited amount of time so that we'll be able to monitor the situation together with the ministers to see how far we have gone, how best we are implementing the plan or the state of emergency, how we are taking care of the vulnerable people, etc. In fact, aggravating, then naturally we also, add these stringent measures. This is how we were thinking. But to give you 90 days, and the plan does not cover retributive transfer payments to take care of the unemployed, to give assistance to the disabled, the veterans, the old age pensioners. These are all vulnerable people. So we thought that the plan would involve all these things, but we have not seen on the ground exactly how this is going to do. So we think that really, since we asked for 90 days, reasonably we can make it half and monitor the situation, see how best it is being implemented, and then we can make decisions later. Because the executive has a right to revoke the proclamation. We also can come up with a resolution to revoke or to extend. So really, we have all the leeways to deal with this. There is no need to scare the population because the population is scared. When they hear 3 months with all this misinformation. In fact, it is the proclamation that has really scared the people. What is in the proclamation and what is in this, these regulations are different. We are told that people who are not selling essential commodities should lock up, should close their shops. But the regulation is not saying that. It is saying if you are at the market, if you have a shop at the market, or you are selling something at the market, which is a non-essential commodity, you should not sell if you are at the market. But if you are 100 meters from the market, you can sell. And you should take care of the distance, the physical distance between people. Let not everybody come in at once, but people can come one by one, and then they can do business with you. So those are very mild situations where we are starting. But if the thing aggravates, then we know that we will come to another stage, like other countries, lockdown. We can go to curfew, but we are not in that. This state of emergency is not mentioning curfew, it's not mentioning lockdowns. It's simply how people can, already in force because it is done through proclamation. Now, what do we do with these recommendations? There are many, and to my opinion, they are very valid. So, Minister, to see how they can incorporate some of these recommendations in the implementation process or in the planning process. And I think, for example, the issue of rebate to people who are losing. If somebody has a shop and is renting at the market, a shop at the market, and is renting, and is selling these non-essential commodities, but is closed because he's at the market. What do we do with such a person and his or her family? Those are issues that should be looked at, and those are the recommendations that are being done. Honorable Speaker, I think there is also one or two things I think I want to. There are so many suggestions, but like for example, we should monitor rent landlords. That's just to urge the landlords to be lenient with the tenants. Unit price should be captured. Fares from Barra all the way to Pasamas has not been stipulated in the regulations. Tourism workers hit hard, they need support. Testing equipment, which health centers, those are corrections. Tax rebate, review prices, again, for fares to make it more acceptable. Because some of the fares are going down. And then, just like it is explained, the number of people reduced and fares are reduced. Observation. These are some of the things that we recommend. Yes, observations. Yeah.
Well, the issue of the fares, we should be very careful. If the regulation is more progressive, this National Assembly should not be recommending something that is retrogressive. We should be talking about compensation of the loser after proper computation in terms of cost benefit of the drivers. But we should not say increase fares when the regulation is a reduce fares. What we should be talking about is reducing the price of petrol and things of that nature, really.